Sun rises over the Florida devastation, 5.8 million left without power and at least 5 dead after Irma marched across the state before being downgraded to a tropical storm. Irma weakened to a tropical storm on Monday, as it continued to pummel northern Florida. The storm is expected to move into Georgia later today, where Atlanta has been put on a tropical storm warning for the first time ever. About 5.8 million people are without power in the state and it could take up to a week for it to be restored. Irma made landfall in the Florida Keys early Monday morning, then pushed up the Gulf Coast. The National Hurricane Center said water levels in Naples rose 7 feet in just 90 minutes with substantial flooding. 5 deaths reported in Florida so far, but officials admit they do not have a definitive number of fatalities yet. The storm has toppled cranes, swallowed streets and ripped the roofs off homes. Nearly 7 million people had been told to leave their homes in mandatory or voluntary evacuation orders. More than 200,000 people waited in shelters statewide as Irma headed up the coast. The storm has already claimed at least 25 lives across the Caribbean since it took hold earlier in the week. First Floridians are returning home today to survey the damage wreaked by Hurricane Irma. The powerful hurricane made landfall Sunday morning in the Florida Keys as a Category 4 storm and then made its way up the Gulf Coast, knocking out power to some 5.8 million Floridians, swamping downtown Miami with storm surge and blowing the roofs off homes. More than 200,000 people waited in shelters statewide as Irma headed up the coast. As of Monday morning, the storm was still pummeling northern Florida, centered west of the city of Ocala, but had been downgraded to a tropical storm. The National Hurricane Center predicts the storm will cross Monday into southwest Georgia, where a hurricane warning was in effect for a large rural area including the cities of Albany and Valdosta. With rough conditions persisting across Florida, many communities in Irma's wake feared what destruction would be revealed when daylight came. So far, the storm is believed to have caused 5 deaths, including a person who was reportedly found dead in a home in the Florida Keys. But this morning, Florida Director of Emergency Management Brian Kuhn said he could not confirm or deny reports of multiple deaths or extensive damage, admitting, "I don't have any numbers on fatalities at this point." Brian Kuhn, Florida's Emergency Management Director, said late Sunday that authorities had only scattered information about damage. "I've not heard of catastrophic damage. It doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It means it hasn't gotten to us yet," Kuhn said. In the low-lying Keys, appliances and furniture were seen floating away, and Monroe County spokeswoman Cami Clark said the ocean waters were filled with navigation hazards, including sunken boats. The county administrator, Roman Gastasi, said crews would begin house-to-house searches Monday morning to check on survivors. They suspect they may find fatalities. Gastasi says they are prepared for the worst. About 30,000 people heeded orders to leave the Keys as the storm closed in, but about 10,000 refused, in part because, to many storm-hardened residents, staying behind in the face of danger is a point of pride. Kuhn said it was likely they did not have power or water and that there would have been fairly significant impact to homes. "It is obvious we need to get in there, assess the damage and figure out what we need to do for helping those folks," he said. John Houston, who stayed in his Key Largo home, watched his yard flood even before the arrival of high tide. Small boats floating down the street next to furniture and refrigerators. "Very noisy," he said by text message. "Shingles are coming off." As the nation's eyes turned to follow Irma up the west coast of Florida, the Keys began to take in the immensity of the damage done.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to us on YouTube. If you like, donate to us, visit home on the page PayPal.